Hey everybody, Steve here.
Hey, it's me, CARY. What's up, YouTube?
I'm here with CARY, who's a fellow YouTuber, and we've been trying to meet for a while. We finally met here in his hometown of Phoenix, Arizona. And CARY has a YouTube channel that's similar to mine, but he actually does a lot of the grave sites and cemeteries here in Phoenix, in the Phoenix area. So I thought it'd be fun, to meet up with them and tell you guys about his channel. It's called
Side Tripping with CARY.
Side Tripping with CARY, and it's actually really some really interesting grave sites that I haven't been to, and most of the ones you've been to, nobody else has been to.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah, so definitely check out his channel. And today we're here actually because I think you were interested in Buster Crabbe, right?
Yes.
I was surprised that you even knew who Buster Crabbe was. I mean, Tarzan, I grew up watching Tarzan movies with Buster Crabbe and Johnny Weissmuller.
Right.
Those were my two Tarzans when I was growing up. And then you watched them years later in reruns.
That's right.
Of course, I was watching them in reruns too. But.
Well, right. But my kind of connection with Buster Crabbe was the old Flash Gordon serials. Like, I saw those as a kid, and I remember asking my father about them. My father was born in 1932, and he remembered those serials when he was a boy.
You probably saw him in the theaters, right?
Exactly, at the theaters.
Wow.
So that's kind of who I knew Buster Crabbe.
Well, it's funny you should say that because, so I want to give a shout out to Mario Linares, one of my newest Patreon supporters, who, it was kind of funny because Mario became a Patreon and left me a message saying, I'm a fan of Buster Crabbe and Flash Gordon. Would you ever consider visiting his gravesite? And I said, funny you should mention that because we had already made plans to visit here just a few days after I got his message. So, good timing.
Yeah.
Good timing, Mario. I wonder how many other people are familiar with Buster Crabbe. Well, probably every baby boomer.
Right.
Because we all watched Tarzan, I think.
Yeah, and then he also had some kind of show where it was, I can't remember the title, but it was somebody of the Foreign Legion, and he was actually in the show.
It was a movie, a TV show?
No, it was a TV show. I think it only lasted a season. His real son, who was a boy like 7, 8 years old at the time, was in the show with him.
Now, you said his son is still alive,
yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, is this his only son?
I believe so.
Because I don't know.
He did have a daughter, remember?
Were you the one telling me about that? Yeah, so his daughter died very young. Do you remember how she died?
She had anorexia, essentially.
That's right.
And she passed away, I want to say, in the maybe mid to late 50s, and this was a time when no one really understood what was going on. I mean, there was so much about mental health and disorders and things like that where we're so far ahead of the game, but back then they didn't know what to do with it, and so she essentially just wasted away and died. It was very tragic.
So, CARY, I don't think I've ever asked you how you got started. Now, you started about a year ago, right?
Yeah, it's been about a year.
With your YouTube channel, visiting grave sites.
Sure.
Now, how did you get started?
My dad, my grandparents are buried here in Phoenix, so I would go with my father to the cemetery quite a bit as a child. And, the cemetery was never a scary place for me. I always thought it was interesting, just going and reading the tombstones and kind of exploring and things like that. So when I became an adult, I was just kind of naturally attracted to it. And then just discovering people that were buried either here or in Tucson or other places in Arizona, was convenient. And so when I used to travel around quite a bit for my then job, I would just visit these places, and it was just amazing to me the people that you would find that were either famous or connected to famous people that are in Arizona, particularly the Phoenix and Tucson area.
So what CARY and I found, we didn't know this little vault-like thing here has a door. The wind's coming up. I sure hope it's not making a lot of noise on the camera. So there's a door here, and then I don't know if you can tell, but this area, this platform, this is raised up about the size of like a crypt. And so I think underneath here are all the crypts or vaults of, this is where the Find a Grave memorial page says Buster Crabbe's crypt is located. So CARY was thinking that they probably open this door. Maybe there's like an elevator or something that goes up and down.
And then they lower the coffins.
Yeah.
And then who knows what's under there as far as...
Yeah, and it could be a lot deeper than just this.
Correct.
Like
Well, it must be for all the names that are on the plaques.
Well,
but
yeah. So
some of
yeah.
them could be cremains too. So there may be niches for that.
Oh, well, that's true. Yeah, they might not be full caskets.
Right.
So these little plaques that you see here are the names of some of the people that are laid to rest underneath this area right here. And we were looking for Buster Crabbe's plaque. We couldn't find it. And so we're thinking that either someone stole it over the years or maybe the family didn't place it. Some families don't do that. Maybe they want it to be private or something.
That's right. Yeah, and there's really no telling. Different people do different things. You just never know. Some people want memorials, some people don't.
Yeah, so I'm always surprised how many people don't want to be buried. They just want to be cremated and scattered. It's kind of sad, especially some really, really big names.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to look around. I'm going to show you what it looks like here. Yeah, see, it's not that deep, but there's a vent, so it's probably a pretty open space.
Yeah. I just, like you say, we just don't know how deep it is. But, yeah.
But it was very specific. The Find a Grave does say he is in this particular spot. So you would think that if they didn't know for sure, they would have just said somewhere in the cemetery.
And that's correct. And I remember when you and I were talking about his final resting place, I assumed it would kind of be like some of the more famous grave sites in California, like Michael Jackson and people like that, where there's sections of the cemeteries or mausoleums that are roped off from the public.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
And I kind of figured that's what this would be, but it's apparently it's not.
Yeah.
So
all right, well, let's. I guess that's it for today. I'm going to head over to another cemetery, and you're welcome to join me if you want.
Yeah, I'll take off.
Okay, but for right now, I just wanted you to meet CARY, and I wanted to meet him in person. This is our first time meeting. I'm sure we'll meet in a cemetery again. And I was mentioning earlier, I think this week is my 5-year anniversary on YouTube.
Oh, wow.
And
congrats.
You started, what, about a year ago?
Yeah, about a year and a half ago.
Okay, so you only have 4 more years to go to have your 5-year anniversary.
Hey, well, congrats on the 5-year anniversary.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. Bye, everybody. See you next time.